We have our first official look at The Punisher One Last Kill special presentation coming from Marvel Studios. Marvel released a new promo for Daredevil Born Again, and at the very end of it, they snuck in a little tease for The Punisher One Last Kill. And I gotta say, it's like 2 seconds long, but it looks pretty dang good. And we also have some new scenes that we haven't seen yet in Daredevil Born Again Season 2 that I hope we see in tonight's episode. And they also look incredibly awesome. What is going on, Cosmic Crew? Thanks for stopping by the channel today. The Punisher special presentation, One Last Kill. If you don't know, it's happening. It's not a series, it's just a special presentation, much like Werewolf by Night was. So it's kind of like a mini movie, and I'm super stoked for it. I'm excited to see the Punisher back in action since it doesn't seem like we're going to see him in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. You never know, but at this point in time, it doesn't really look like it. Matt and Karen have talked about him, and they basically have said, yeah, he's out there doing his own thing. And one thing they said about him is that, well, he gets the job done because he kills, and that's exactly what they show us in this little teaser. One shot is, well, it's really of his new logo on his chest, which go ahead and let me know what you think about that in the comments. I like it. He has obviously had to change this because of what has happened in Daredevil Born Again Season 1. Not only were the cops for the AVTF rocking the Punisher logo on their chests, but some of even the bullet casings they were using had the Punisher logo on it as well. So he changes his, obviously, but they also show him pulling out a knife from his vest. Super cool shot. And then he's ending somebody in this scene, which that's what the Punisher does. That's one of the big differences between the Punisher and Daredevil and Spider-Man, I should add, because he's about to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day. The Punisher will kill people. He'll kill everybody, right? He is the judge, jury, and executioner. He is there for justice. And in this one, it kind of sounds like he's here for revenge. With the official synopsis that Marvel Studios released when they announced The Punisher One Last Kill, it states, as Frank Castle searches for meaning beyond revenge, an unexpected force pulls him back into the fight. So revenge is definitely on the table there. I mean, that's a big part of the Punisher because of his family and everything like that. If you haven't seen the Netflix Punisher series, at least watch season 1. It's really freaking good. But this is going to be taking place after Daredevil Born Again Season 1, where in the post-credits scene, we actually saw him escape from Kingpin. It doesn't look like he freed anybody else because we had that crazy cool scene in episode 3 of Season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, but we do know he escaped and he's out there. And we also know, of course, it takes place before Spider-Man Brand New Day, and it said that some of the villains and crime organizations that we see in the Punisher special presentation are actually going to end up in Spider-Man Brand New Day as well, and that's why he is actually in that movie. So, a lot to look forward to here. Let me know how excited you are for the Punisher special presentation in the comments down below. Now, this trailer, the new one that they released, actually starts off with Bullseye, and we've seen a little bit of Bullseye, but there have been some shots from the trailers that we haven't seen yet, but they kind of give us a crazy scene here in a diner that has Bullseye sitting down ordering a milkshake. Kind of hilarious to see that. He seems very calm. I will give him that. He seems very, very calm. He seems very happy. And we can hear sirens happening in the background. The AVTF shows up. He drinks his milkshake. He puts a toothpick in his mouth. That's the very important part, because the next thing that we see, besides the AVTF surrounding him, is him taking the straw, and the toothpick is all of a sudden gone. He obviously put the toothpick inside of the straw, and this is an interesting part. He puts his hands up. He has the straw still because it has a toothpick in it, and he turns and he sees this AVTF officer, and when the AVTF officer sees him, he's quite taken back. If you notice here, he's aiming down the sights of his gun. He's ready to pull the trigger, but when he sees that it's Bullseye, he gets really taken back, and then Bullseye takes him out with the toothpick. Not a good way to go, but that's Bullseye for you. But it is interesting that he seems very surprised right here. He doesn't expect this to be Bullseye. So I'm wondering why the AVTF is actually there in this scene, because it clearly doesn't seem like they were there to specifically get Bullseye. So we'll have to wait and see why they were there. Maybe they thought it was somebody else. Maybe it was a call about Matt Murdock. it honestly seems like Bullseye is kind of baiting them there because he takes out everyone in this scene. This scene is pretty epic, kind of gruesome. I mean, he basically grabs the forks and the knives around him and uses them to kill those people. It doesn't seem like he's using his own gear, which would probably be less painful because it would be more precise, and his knives are sharper than, these knives at the diner. So it seems like he's making it a point to kill them painfully. I mean, yeah, some of these scenes are crazy. I mean, I love when he throws the forks up, catches them, and throws them. But the very interesting part that I found was he actually leaves his call sign. He leaves the Bullseye logo on the doors as he leaves. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, that is grotesque, because I thought it was blood at first, but after looking at it a bit more, I don't think that's the case. It seems very chunky. So I think it's ketchup, which is funny to me because it seems like he just sat there after, took a ketchup bottle and squirts his Bullseye call sign on the door. But I think that plays into the scene of them not knowing that it was Bullseye. He specifically called them to kill them, and we've learned from the first 3 episodes that that's what he's doing. He's taking out the AVTF, and he's most likely going after Vanessa, but he's making it a point to take down Kingpin's people. And he wants them to know it's him, so he leaves his sign on the door. So I don't think they knew it was him, but to make sure whoever comes after does know it's him, he leaves his sign on the door. Can't wait to see this scene. I imagine this scene will be in the episode tonight. Then we get some other shots, but I really just kind of want to focus on a few of them. One is, it looks like there is a scene where Daredevil and Kingpin are actually going to fight each other. This is very brief, but it looks pretty cool. It's back in the kind of underground layer that Kingpin has. You can see the photo from Daredevil on Netflix season 1 that he bought from Vanessa. It's got the blood on it from the end of the Daredevil series and Daredevil Born Again season 1 as well. So we're gonna get a Kingpin versus Daredevil fight. Obviously, I'm excited to see that once again. But then there's some very peculiar things that we see here. We actually see some people, like the crowds, they're putting Daredevil masks on. And it seems like they're about to rush wherever Kingpin is at, because in this scene right here, Kingpin's literally grabbing one of those people, and it looks like he's like breaking their back on like the corner of a wall here. Like, look how that person is, he's grabbing him by the throat. So these people are all masked. So maybe it's some type of organization breaking into where he's at. But again, in the other scene, when we have the crowd of people putting on the Daredevil mask, it seems like this is essentially a revolution against him. And it looks like at some point, he's going to just say, screw it, and go full Kingpin, because we even see him here. It looks like he's kind of on like a balcony here, and he's got blood on his suit. So this could be people trying to rush him, and him, what I would imagine he would say, him defending himself, right? So they're trying to overthrow him, overthrow the government, so to speak. Kingpin defends himself by just destroying whoever gets in his way. Because like we mentioned in some of our breakdowns, remember, Kingpin is not supposed to be fat. Yes, he's big. Yes, he's kind of portrayed as fat, but he's not. He's supposed to be mostly pure muscle. He's supposed to be insanely strong. So him taking on these like normal civilians with no superpowers and no training, it's like a cakewalk for him. And it looks like he gets pretty bloody in the process, and I don't think it's his blood. So yeah. Then another thing is, of course, Jessica Jones is back. And what's crazy, and I hope this is in tonight's episode as well, she mentions she has a daughter. So of course, I'm sure you're all like me. When you hear that, I'm sure you think Luke Cage. Her and Luke Cage had a daughter. So we've been hearing a lot about the Defenders returning. I won't spoil anything for anybody in case you didn't come here for that, because I didn't put any type of spoilers in the title or anything for this. But we've seen some leaked photos that also heavily hint that we might be getting the Defenders back. And, we've actually been hearing from some insiders that season 2 is going to set them up, the Defenders up, to come back in season 3. So I'm thinking Luke Cage, Iron Fist might be teased in this. I mean, this is obviously a pretty big tease right here that they're putting in the trailer. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe 1 or 2 or the whole Defenders actually come back in season 2 of Daredevil Born Again. I don't think it's going to happen in tonight's episode, but maybe in the finale. We'll have to wait and see. But the fact that they put this out so close to the next episode makes me believe that Jessica Jones and Bullseye both should have pretty big roles in this episode tonight. We haven't even seen Jessica Jones yet, even though they've advertised her in many trailers at this point in time. So I'm thinking this is the episode where she comes back. And it seems like she's pretty pissed off because they came after her at her home where her daughter is at. She didn't say anything about a husband, right? Nothing about Luke Cage, but maybe in the episode we'll get some more context. I'm sure we will. I'm super excited for it. Let me know how excited you are for tonight's episode in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel news. And you can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.